Okay, so welcome to step 8, which is the meta ad strategy setup and structure. Okay, so today we are going to cover the strategy, the ads, ad account setup, and then how we actually structure our campaigns. Now, for the purpose of this video, again, if you're new here, you've gone through the course, this was an update we've added because I just wanted to make sure this was a quality lesson, not just added in very quickly. So what I've actually done the last 30 days is basically just created a brand new account that we'll use as a warm-up account anyway, but for the purpose of this video and this training, and the same one I use inside the scaling arena upgrade if you're inside that. Just to show you, basically some real numbers and exactly how we do it as we go through it. So, yeah, you can see basically you can see that there below, and I'm going to go through that. Just a quick note here: if you have upgraded to this Ultimate Scaling Arena, then you can head over to that course there because there's more advanced tutorials, over the shoulder templates, resources, obviously everything that you've purchased inside there already. If you haven't, not to worry, I'm basically going to cover the process here also so you can create your own for each step. Obviously, each one of the templates and stuff that you get in the scaling arena, but I'll show you how to do everything yourself. A very common question before we start is how much money do I need for this? There's no answer for that, okay? Look, if I launch a new offer now, we'll spend 500 to $1,000 the first day, just because that's where we're at as a business and that's kind of where I'm at. But at the start, I started when I was broke. I started with $5 a day. Okay, there's no right or wrong answer for that. What I would just say is that ads should not cost you money. And I know that might sound really cliche and a bit obvious. Maybe it's not. I'm not too sure where you're at in your journey. But ads should not cost you money. Okay. If they cost you money, typically your creative is bad, or your offer isn't good enough. Okay, that's basically the feedback it's given you. And that's one of the reasons I love paid ads so much, is because it's immediate feedback. You can make an ad, you can spend $100 and maybe get seen by, let's say, 1,000 people or 500 people, and you kind of get pretty immediate feedback on terms of the click-through rate, or how people respond to your ad, if it's a good offer or not. And it's one of the ways that I will often test offers, is to basically create a load of ads and just get immediate feedback, because we always think we know best, but actually the customer knows best. It's exactly why I'm adding in this lesson here into PDF farming, because a lot of you have requested this. And that only comes from customer feedback. You said, how do I do ads? How do I do meta ads? What's the setup? What's the structure? And that only comes from customer feedback. I didn't think of putting this in when I initially launched the PDF farming, right? So, customers are always right in that way, in terms of they will let you know what they want, and you just kind of build around that. So that's one of the other reasons I love ads. It's a really good feedback loop. So the strategy, let's start off with this then. So I actually go over for 40 minutes in the bonus section of this course that everyone's got access to. So you can go and click on that link there, and it should take you to the framework and the strategy. So again, I'm not going to redo this here. You can go and watch that there. The PDF version also, if you click here, you can see that. Essentially, I just break down the full funnel approach, 360 acquisition model, kind of the mindset behind scaling ads, because again, a lot of people get that very, very wrong in terms of their expectations. They think they're going to make a load of money from day one. It can happen, but all I'm really looking for, to be honest, is 1.1 return on ad spend, and I'll keep scaling because of the back end stuff which you would learn in the full funnel approach. Kind of a bit of ad scaling timeline strategy. The structure I'm going to go through again in this lesson anyway, but you can see it there as well. And then different ad types per platform. Again, we're only going to cover meta ads in this one because it's the simplest to get started and the one that most people ask about. Okay, and I'm actually going to show you inside the warmed up ad account as well. But in short, the strategy is we start with either Meta or Google. To be honest with you, it's usually Meta, and that's why we're covering this here. And then we only really diversify it once that either a K or 1,000 a day profit or 1,000 a day ad spend, just so we're not completely reliant on one ad platform. It's always been just because my previous experience with big CMO contracts and just my own agency and stuff, and I've had scenarios in the past where things have been going amazing for months and months and months, and suddenly an ad account just shuts down or something happens and it all just like falls to pieces. So now whenever I set up an offer, I have 2 ad accounts, hence why I'm warming one up here, and 2 ad accounts to a main one, and then kind of a warmed up one that can step in if ever needed. And then also I will quickly diversify to Google. I'll take the winners from Meta and put them on TikTok, even planning on my Pinterest ads a little bit at the moment. Any ad platform basically, I will be on YouTube ads as well. And yes, they might not be the main ad platform. That probably still is Meta for most part, Meta or Google. But I'm always diversified, so I'm not just completely reliant on one ad platform. It's also why your organic content's really important. Okay, you need to keep pushing that, and that also helps the ad performance. Okay, so again, I go through Google ads and TikTok ads in the scaling arena, but today we're just going to go through the Meta here. So secondly, we're using extremely simple ad structure on for all the ad platforms, but for Meta, let's just talk about that. We use a very, very, very simple ad structure. I mean, this is the account. You can see how simple it is. Literally 2 campaigns and that's it. Again, I'm going to go through that in a second. I'm very happy to scale at 1.1 ROAS. So what that means, if you don't know what ROAS means, it means return on ad spend. So if I put in $1 and I get $2 back, that's a 2 return on ad spend. So 1.1, if I put in $1 and I get $1.10 back, that would be 1.1 ROAS. Okay, so the reason I'm happy to scale at that is because we're selling digital products. There's no fulfillment costs, there's no inventory costs. It's all just, but basically, there's no cost apart from the ad spend, really. So, and it's all relative. Okay, if you're spending $100 a day and you get 1.1 ROAS and you're only making $10, well, okay, that's not great. But when you get to the point when you're spending $10, you built spending $10,000 a day, you're making 1.1 ROAS, then that's $1,000 a day. So you can kind of see the difference there. And the early stages, anything below $1,000 a day spend, you'll typically have much higher ROAS. But once you start going 5, 10k, again, you can still have very high ROAS. And again, that's something I go through in the scaling arena. But I'd happily spend 10k a day and make 1k a day in profit. And 1.1 ROAS is not that difficult to achieve. Your ad creative must be pretty basic, to even get that. So again, we're going to start off small, so don't worry about those big numbers I've just mentioned, but just in terms of the mindset, as long as the ads are making money, I'll keep scaling it. And also, if you have a strong back end offer, you're essentially acquiring customers for free. And then lastly, it's all about the creative. Okay, this is super, super important. We have a simple ad account structure because we focus mainly on the creative. I see a lot of people being a lot of ad accounts, and it's just so overcomplicated. They spend way too much time, in my opinion, trying to outsmart the ad platform. Meta has more data and is more intelligent than us, and just let it do its thing. Give it the best creatives you can and let it do its thing. I'm going to say that repeatedly, probably over the course of this lesson. Okay. But it's so true. And I used to be in a camp where I used to like targeting, interest targeting and lookalikes and all this sorts of stuff. And it's not that it doesn't work, it can do. At scale, I've never found that works very well because you're narrowing Meta's audience. I kind of work with the platforms, not against the platform, and just try and give it the best resources, the best creatives that I possibly can. Okay, so let's now talk about the ads and kind of how we create them and what they look like. So I run 2 different types of ads for my PDFs and digital products. One is advertorial ads and 2 is direct ads. So advertorial ads, they look something like this, okay? This is widely popular in e-commerce. So if I go to here and I go top 5 IPL hair removal, okay, you can see straight away, even if I typed in the best, this would still come up. You can see here, the first 2 results in Google Ads, for example, are these kind of top 5 advertorial things there. I mean, that's probably, as a different domain, it's probably the same company. And then what they do, they essentially put theirs as number 1. Then you click on it, and surprise, it takes you to their landing page. Okay, so I do the same but for digital products, and this is pretty untapped in digital products. I don't see a lot of people doing this, or they do it and they have different advertorial strategies that aren't always great, but yeah, this is the best one I found that works. So this is my live one, for example. Again, I will show you my live stuff. So this is one of ours. Again, we've got loads of these with different headlines to match different avatars and markets. Okay, so yeah, this is basically ours. That talks through the top 5 ways to make money online, or the top 5 courses to essentially make money online. Okay, so I'll leave that there. You can have a read through it and kind of see how we do that. What it essentially is, it's like a pre-sale page. So imagine a massive referral machine. So we don't run those ads when we run advertorial ads. We don't run those ads under PDF Farming 4.0 or ADHD Blueprint, whatever offer we're doing. Facebook page name or Instagram page name, they're all ran through almost like an AI avatar name, or a online course reviews, or a person's name that we kind of make up. Okay, and it's almost like people go to the page, they educate themselves, and then they take the recommendation and click. Now we do say obviously this is a sponsored advertising post, you have to legally, so make sure you do that, please. But yeah, that's kind of what an advertorial ad is. I'll go through why they work in a second. Direct ads is just basically direct to your sales page. You've seen these everywhere, and I'll show you an example below. So I run both. I run both ads of these types. So the reason we run advertorial ads is because they're very broad, so they appeal to a wide audience, and they might be appealing to people who aren't necessarily thinking about buying right now. But then they click on the advertorial, they educate themselves, and you move them from not thinking about buying to buying. Okay, so you can kind of tap into a wider audience, which helps you at scale. If you think if you're spending $100 a day, you're being seen by, let's say, 500 people or 1,000 people a day. If you're spending 10,000, that could be 50,000, 75,000, 100,000 people plus per day on Meta. So you're quickly soon, especially if you're using interest targeting, which I don't recommend, you're pretty soon going to max out the audience, and then what will happen is you either need to upload more and more creatives, or Meta needs to find new potential customers for you. And that's one of the reasons I like advertorials, because they're very, 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 very broad. So they appeal to, if you think this is basically the one I showed you up there was basically the make money online or the wealth niche. Okay, people looking to make money, which is an enormous amount of people, so 500 million plus people around the world. I mean, I'd say, looking in that niche, if you added all the Meta interests together plus their own ones, it's enormous. So I don't actually update my creatives as much because I use these sort of things, because they're so broad. And then we kind of run the direct ads, which are more problem aware buyers who are in the market already buying, and we just want to show that this is the best solution. So that's why I run both. They both work hand in hand together. You might just want to start off running direct ads first and then add advertorials in later. So creating your ads, I use 3 things: my iPhone, my Canva account, and a native editing tools inside TikTok and Instagram. That's it. Okay. I don't do overcomplicated fancy ads. Some might work, but mostly they don't. You spend a load of time and effort and potentially money creating them, and they just don't seem to work. I create ads that fit into that platform I'm creating the ads for. So, I use the native captions, I use the native text overlays, just like the same like we did with the organic videos. Okay, I use all of that because it makes it look not so much like an ad. Now, they're always going to look like an ad a little bit, but the best ads I run don't actually look like ads. They just look like they fit into the social media platform. Also, I don't have any proof of this, but just from my experience, this is just purely my experience, those ads seem to do better. They get lower CPMs. I think part of that might be because Instagram and TikTok, we're using their native we're using their native platform, and the content looks like it fits in, so they want to push it more. That's my hypothesis. I haven't got any proof, hard data to prove that up, but just from all the spend that we do each day and over the last 10, 12 years doing this, that's kind of my hypothesis, shall we say. I also follow the same formula every single time. Okay, so it's the exact same you do on the organic side, and that's why it works. Okay, as I kind of just said. So step one, part one of the ad is the curiosity hook with social proof or authority. Step two is the bridge, showing how to get that result or the reasons why something it works, hitting the pain point and desires. And then step three, call to action, telling them where to go and what to do. Now within that, you can have different lengths. If it's a video, if it's, let's say it's a video, that could be anywhere from 12 seconds to 90 seconds. I don't really go beyond 90 seconds with any of my ads. Most of my ads are between 15 and 30 seconds. If they're videos, if they're statics, it's a bit different. I can show you them below. But that's it. Okay, that is the formula. So when you're creating ads, just remember that formula, and I'll show you down below kind of how you can get social proof and authority even if you haven't started. So you can use stuff like news articles. So let's say you are selling a weight loss product. Okay, so if I go weight loss, breaking news, USA. Okay, so you can see here, there's like loads and loads of, here, okay, 1 in 8 Americans have tried weight loss drugs. As many, 1 in 5 people won't lose weight with GLP. This is a massive thing going on at the moment. It's the pharmaceutical semaglutide. Celebrities who've spoken about, this is brilliant. Okay, so getting your iPhone or your whatever phone that you use, Google Pixel phone, whatever it is, okay, and literally, so there's so many pop-ups on these sort of pages, and literally recording you scrolling down the screen, and people are seeing celebrities that they recognise. It's going to hook them in. These 3 celebrities are saying that this does not work, and here's why. Here's why people are using this instead and seeing these results. And then you can show some weight loss pictures from Google or some stock ones, and then I would go into like and basically then I would go into this is the better way, and then that obviously links to your sales page or your advertorial. So you're kind of hooking them in with authority because they recognise the celebrities. It's a news article, automatically got authority. It's social proof, and then you can kind of go bridging and then go and what to do. Again, you'll see my examples of this below. Important to remember here, the ads job is not to sell your product. That is the job of the sales page. The ads job is simply to get the right people to click off the platform onto your next page. Everything has a stage. Stop trying to sell your product on the ad, okay? It's to get the click to the sales page, okay? Now, you want the best clicks possible. You want the best people coming through possible. Okay, the ads job is to hook them in. Those who are interested in getting off the social media platforms like Meta onto your sales page. That is the ads job, okay? So I run 3 different ad types. I run static, video, and carousel. So what I've done, I've shown you real life examples. These are all examples that I'll show you that are doing 2, 3 plus some even higher ROAS in this ad account. And again, I'm just using the PDF at farm example as I have done throughout, just because it's relevant to you, because obviously you're taking this course, you're going through this, so you can you've probably got a better idea rather than showing you something completely random. So this was a very simple static I made on Canva. Before, after. I mean, yeah, very, 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 very simple. That's a direct one. This is an advertorial example that went to the page I showed you before. Again, very, very simple. Video ad example, remember what I just went through up here and watch this video.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man.
So I'm literally recording my iPhone screen. I'm hooking them in. POV, it's very native. It's all edited inside. This is a slightly long version. I also have a shorter version. Okay. And then, I then go through the bridge.
Can't wait for somebody to think you can do it. You're going to forever be sad, man. If you don't chase that dream, you're going to forever be miserable, man.
If you give up on your dreams,
Okay, very, very simple. That took me 5 minutes to create and edit, and then I just did loads of different variations. I just changed the POV to different things at start and did 6 different creatives based off it. Carousel example is the exact same. You can go inside here and you can just see it's just social proof. That's literally it. Okay. Very, very, very simple. Okay. Again, these are from my real ads account. I just want to be real, just to show you. Okay. And the formula I use hasn't changed for years. It's the exact same. Okay, it's the exact same. So that's how to create your ad. So have a think about your offer, and then start using that formula. You can use them as examples to base off. You just need your phone, Canva account, and then just literally edit inside those tools there. Okay, so the ad account setup. So this is very, very straightforward. I'm not going to show you from start to finish because it's just literally entering in your details and setting up your ad account. So just go to create a Meta Business Manager here. You'll need a business manager first. Okay, so literally just click Start Now, and then just enter in some details that then prompt you to create an ad account within. That's it. If you're stuck at all, just go to Google. There's loads of how to create business manager and Meta ad accounts tutorials. Again, take you like 1 minute to 2 minutes just to set it up. Okay, so just go and do that. Now, if for any reason you need to buy a business manager, maybe you've maxed out the number of business managers you've created, and you need someone to create one and give you access, or you need one verified for a specific offer or niche. There's various reasons. This is someone that I've used before. He's really, really good. Also, if you have any issues with the Meta account, he's very good as well. So he can create one for you and verify it. Ideally, just create it yourself, but if you can't, that is the other option that you can use. Okay, full funnel tracking. So we use Go High Level to track all our conversions. So every time someone purchases from an ad, you need to send that data back to the Meta ad account platform, so you can then get accurate-ish. I say accurate-ish, I'll show you why in a second, ish numbers, okay? So we use HiROS now because we're spending so much money on ads across all the offers, and it combines it all. It's just easiest, okay? You can also use ClickMagick as well as a bit of a cheaper solution. I mean, HiROS is like nearly £2,000 a month, so it doesn't make sense unless you're spending 25k plus minimum a month on ads, which most of you probably aren't there yet. So ClickMagick is a really good option if you've got a bit more budget to spend. They're $169 a month and very, 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 very good. Then you've got Go High Level, tracking conversion API automation. Okay, so this is the one that's completely free. The free version, obviously Go High Level costs, but I presume you're using Go High Level throughout this course anyway. But this is basically, this is like the best one that you can use to start off. So I've done a full tutorial for you here. It's completely free. You don't need to pay for anything apart from Go High Level, which you should have already. And that will then send the correct data back to your Meta ad account. The reason that's so important is because if you send the wrong data or don't send any data properly back to your Meta ad account, simply you're just going to, you're basically going to struggle, and because the ad account won't be able to learn. Your ads can be running amazingly, but if you're not giving the data back to Meta will never know. So then it won't spend as much on that ad, or you won't know which ads are actually working well, and it'll just be operating blind and going to waste a load of money, and you're going to struggle to scale massively. So you need to set up conversion tracking with Meta in order to add this. I'm also just going to add here a little tutorial on how to install the Pixel. Okay, because that's the other thing that you'll need to do. So I'll just add this in after the video, but again, there'll be a link there for you similar to that one. Okay, so you've got your strategy. Okay, now you've got your ads. You know how to create them with the right formula. You've got examples there you can use. You've set up your ad account if you haven't got one already. You've set up your Pixel, which I'll show you how to do with a link here after this video. Then you've got your Go High Level tracking conversion API automation, or ClickMagick, or if you're very advanced, you probably already using them, would be HiROS. We're now going to go through my campaign structure. Okay, so I'll show you this inside the ad account. It's literally super simple. One creative testing campaign, one scaling campaign. That's it. We have zero, I'm just going to highlight this for you, zero targeting, and we leave it to Meta. So what that means is we don't put interest-based targeting, which I'll show you when I go inside the ad account in a minute. Okay, if you're experienced with Meta, you'll know what I mean. If it's the first time ever seeing Meta ads, I'll show you what I mean inside the ad account. But we don't use any targeting. We just literally leave it all to Meta. Keep it nice and broad. To ensure efficient spend, we usually do something called cost cap, which is your net margin minus 10 to 20%. And it's basically you telling Meta how much you can spend for a new customer, and they'll work to get it as close as possible, if not below. So this makes your ads a lot more efficient. If you don't have this, Meta will just spend. And there are cases sometimes where we might not have it, but to be honest, on the whole, we always kind of use a cost cap, because I don't want to let Meta just go and spend all our money on stuff that isn't going to work or isn't working for us. So yeah, I always personally have a cost cap in. Again, you can speak to 10 different Meta advertising people. Everyone has a different method that they say works and works for them. That's fine. I'm just showing you what works for me and what's worked for hundreds of other people that I've worked with over the years with this. And again, this is all about the creative. I'm giving you the simple structure here. I'm going to show you how to do it. But this is all about the creative. If your ads are not working, it is the creative or the offer. Okay. If your ads are not getting clicks, it's the creative. If your ads are getting low click-through rate, it's the creative. So just really, really keep that in mind. Don't blame the structure. People have lots of different structures, but it doesn't matter what structure you put into. If the creative is good, Meta will push it. Okay. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Again, I know I've said that a few times, but yeah. So let me show you what this actually looks like inside our warming up account. So we have basically a creative testing campaign and we have an A+ scaling campaign. I'll go through the A+ scaling campaign in seconds. So let's start off with the creative testing campaign. So what this is I'll basically have ad sets and ads. So the ad sets are here. So inside, let's say inside each ad set, this is the one I was showing you before. I showed you the example before for this one. So you have 6 ads inside each ad set, and never add more than 6 ads inside each ad set. Okay, so you can see the ROAS on this static, as I promised, proof included. That one's got much more spend. It's 2.8, 2.9, 2.36. So Meta is naturally, you can see here, is naturally spending less on these two because they had they had more spend and didn't work as well, and still making money off them. These two here consistently have worked a lot better, so it's putting a bit more emphasis on them. And this one here again is going quite well, and it's starting to spend more on this now. So you can see Meta is kind of learning and doing it itself. They range from $5 a purchase to 21. Okay, and interestingly enough, you can see this is where there's so much data points that you can look at, but just to keep it simple, this is actually $21 a purchase, but the ROAS is higher because for whatever reason, people coming through this ad are more pre-educated. They maybe got more of a need, more of a desire, and they're spending more. They're buying the upsells, they're buying the order bump. So again, this is just a warming up account, so we're not spending a huge amount. So let me show you how to actually set up the creative testing campaign. So if you haven't ever used Meta Ads before, by the way, okay, you just go to create new campaign, and it's always going to be sales and it's going to be conversions. Okay, so just do that, and then I'll show you how the settings that we use to set it up inside here. So no fancy names here, and let's just call it creative testing campaign. Okay, daily budget again isn't massive, but you can put that at $5 a day. You can put it at $10 a day. You're going to do your creative testing campaign first, and then you're going to put your winners into scaling campaign. So again, just make sure, if you start at $5, that's fine. You're going to do the cost per result bid strategy. So just make sure you select that if it's not already pre-selected, and that's it. And then let's go into the ad set settings. Again, I just call it a very broad name. I know what that means. People have all these different naming conventions. To be honest with you, as long as you know what it means, it's fine. People say, oh, you must do this, you must do that. I just, there's no right or wrong. If it works for you, and you know what it means, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so don't be too overwhelmed by different naming conventions. Just literally call it whatever you want. So website and performance goals, maximize number of conversions. Make sure you select your right data set. So we did the pixel setup before. Sorry, it's not called pixel now, it's called data set. The data set setup before. Conversion event is purchase. and then cost per result goal. In fact, we're probably going to increase this. Well, we have got this increase on the actual account. So this basically, let's say your average order value, the average customer spends $100 with you, then I would be putting this at around $80. I put the cost per result goal 20% less of our kind of AOV or our margin. Now, because you've got digital products, there's no obviously there's no inventory cost, there's no fulfillment cost. It's pretty much all profit. So if your AOV, your average order value that a customer spends with you is $100, and then I would put this at 80. Okay. Again, we need to increase this because our AOV is now at 160 with all the upsells that we've added. So again, we would basically tell Meta, look, we can spend up to 120 to acquire a customer, and then it allows us to outbid other people. It allows us to, they'll push it more, and it helps you scale. So the higher AOV, I always find the easier it is to scale. So even though we've said 50, you can see on the results that I show you, we're getting some for 5, getting some for 20, getting some for 15, and I'm happy with all of that. We actually haven't got anywhere near 50, so that means the creators are really, really, really good. Attribution settings: 1 day click, 1 day engage view, 1 day view. Make sure you change them. Don't put an end date. Never ever use that personally. I always switch to original audience options. So you're going to see down here on yours, it's going to automatically do use Advantage Plus audience. But what I would do here is there's going to be a little toggle you can switch to original audience options, and that's what you're going to do. Put your locations. Again, this particular one is just Australia and United States, but typically we would do UK, Australia, United States, New Zealand and Canada. 25 plus, I don't go below 25 just because they have less buying power. Typically, again, I'm judging a book by its cover, and obviously there's 18-year-olds who are millionaires and all that sort of stuff, but on the whole, most people below 25 don't have savings, and they don't have an awful lot of disposable income to spend on stuff like this. Okay, so I split it as 25 to be more efficient, and then I leave everything else blank, no targeting, nothing at all. Placements just leave on, and that's basically it. The ad account, the ad level is pretty easy. Just select your Facebook pages, manual upload. If it's a carousel, obviously add a carousel. It's going to be either a single image video or carousel. Make sure to tick multi-advertiser ads off. Do not tick this. It will waste your money. Don't do it. Edit media, you're basically going to add your media here. So you're going to add your image, your video here. And then I always add 5 different primary texts. And then 4 different headlines, or 5 different headlines. I've just done 4, and this one doesn't really matter. And basically Meta, again, you're giving Meta as much as you possibly can and letting them do the best work they can possibly do. You're working together, not against them. Okay, learn more is the call to action I always put. Make sure you've got all enhancements off. So you see down here, edit, make sure you've got all enhancements off apart from relevant comments. That's absolutely fine. All the rest and turn off. I never found any increase. In fact, I found the opposite. It performed worse when they were on. The website URL to your sales page or advertorial page, and just make sure you've got the right data set selected there. And the UTM parameters, if you're using them, again, I'll give you that inside the scaling arena, but for most of you probably won't use that. But yeah, I always use UTM parameters for tracking. Just helps, again, with our tracking software. So that is the creative testing campaign. So what I'm basically looking for here, if I go to all ads, I'll just do amount spent last 30 days. Again, it's not a huge amount spent, but just at least enough to show you. Okay, so you can see I'm sorting by the amount spent, and what I'm looking for is which ads can actually spend. So not all ads are spent. So you might notice there's some here at the bottom that aren't spending at all, like 10 cents, right? And basically what that's Meta doing is just saying, look, it's not that they're bad ads, it's just that it's deciding to spend on the ones that are performing the best. Okay, so you might see here also actually like they're not the highest. Some of them are 2.8. So you say, well, why isn't it just spending all the money on the one that's 2.8 or 4.69? Why isn't it just 15 ROAS, that one for example? Why is it not just spending on all of them? And it's not quite that straightforward, because when you start spending more and more and more and more, you know, it kind of averages out. Like this one, for example, has got 269 link clicks and is 1.75 or 276, you know, over 2 ROAS, which is still good. You know, 2.82. Then this one's like 15 ROAS. Where is it? So you got 5 link clicks. Like, it's not relative, you know. So Meta's basically just deciding where to spend, and we just trust it because you know, it's more intelligent than us. But what I'm looking for here isn't just the return on ad spend. It's what ads can spend. So basically, what this is saying is what ads can scale. Because again, I kind of went back to the bit we spoke about before, but you know, with a broader target audience, when you start scaling, you know, you want ads that can also scale, because there'll be some creators that just won't be able to scale because they're not broad enough, or they're not appealing enough, or various different reasons. What I'm looking for here is, okay, what ads are getting the most spend? Now, if that was like 0.9 or 0.8 and was spending loads, I'd probably turn it off, say, okay, well, that's not efficient, Meta. I don't really want you to be spending on that one as much. But it's still above our target ROAS. It's looking good. It's spending, which means it can clearly scale at this point. So what I would then do, I would then move this into the A+ scaling campaign, which I'm going to show you. Now, to do that, I'm going to literally just going to click edit. Now, I'm not actually going to edit it. I'm going to do advanced preview, Facebook post with comments, and then basically, let me just click here.
I say chase your dreams, man.
Okay, and you're basically going to take the post ID. Okay, and again, it will depend. Meta does keep changing this, by the way. So if I go on like Mr. this one, for example, this probably might be an easy one to show you with. So this is a post, okay, and so you can see here, this is what I meant. So you see here, you've got the post ID here, okay, and you've also got the ID there. Now I'll show you what I mean by this. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. I'm going to leave it up. So let's say that ad was spending the most, and you wanted to put that into your scaling campaign. So what we then do, we set up an A+ scaling campaign. Now, don't be confused by the names. Like, a creative testing campaign can still scale. Okay, it's still a good campaign, a good setup. That can still scale. I find it typically has a lower ROAS at the start and then kind of evens out. So you know, if you look at on the whole, it's 1.885. But we're not being as efficient because we're spending and testing lots of different creatives. And this one is 3.2 ROAS. But just keep in mind, this is not 100% accurate because we use external tracking tools which are about 94% accurate. It's about 75% accurate. So actually, that is around 4.2 and that's around 2.85 based upon our data on our accurate sheets. Okay, so this is actually worse numbers than they actually are. Okay, so you know, this is why you need accurate tracking, and Meta will never give you 100% accurate tracking. If you use the API go high level stuff I showed you, you'll get reasonably close for not a lot of money. But you know, if you want to get full tracking, I think our HIOS is like 94% accuracy tracking. So yeah, we then set up an A+ scaling campaign. So what you can do, you can do create, you do sales, you're going to do conversions, and then you do advantage shopping campaign. Okay, basically we just shorten it to just A+. So inside this, you can see here it's a bit of a different setup. So you've got campaign level, and then you've got loads of ads underneath it. Okay, so what you're going to do here is, again, website, maximize conversions, the same stuff as before. Okay, included locations, daily budget. Okay, and that's basically it. Okay. And then what you're going to do, you're then going to upload the ads. So you're going to take your winners and you're going to put them in here. Now what you can do, you can upload them from scratch, or you can do something. If I just like duplicate this, again, I'm going to delete this one after. You can actually copy the ID. Now this can be a little bit fiddly, so just bear with me. You can just go down, where is it? I think it's down here. Must be at the top actually. I can never find it. There we go. So create ad, use existing post. Okay. And what you're going to do is you are going to enter post ID. And I'm just going to do that. Okay, see, that's why it's wrong. So it might be all of this. Give me a sec. I always kind of fiddle around with it to make sure it's right. It'll be one of these. Okay, so you can now see I've entered in the post ID, and yeah, basically you can see it now. So it's now taken, and the reason we do this is because it then takes existing reactions and existing social proof from the original ad. So you might have like 50 comments or 1,000 likes or something, and then if you start from scratch, it's obviously going to affect performance because there's less social proof on it. So this basically just gives you a lot more social proof, and you can copy it over. Sorry, because it's so fiddly. It's the bit from PFID all the way to before the and that is your post ID. Okay. So yeah, obviously you would then publish. Obviously, I'm just going to delete this because we've already got it. But that is basically the setup. And then what I do, you can then just increase the budgets by about 25% every 3 days, as long as the numbers are looking good. I highly, highly recommend manually tracking your sales and where they're coming from. You can do it inside Go High Level, okay, and then working out your actual return on ad spend. Because I said I know for this account, the warm up account, that's actually near a 4.5, and that is about 2.9, because we tracked it manually and on the sheet, and obviously with HireUs, so that's not totally accurate. Okay, so that is the foundation basically to get you started. You now know the strategy, what makes a successful ad, how to make them, how to set up the ad account properly, and the exact campaign structure I use to actually run the ads. Okay, so if you want to delve into paid ads a lot further, obviously there's so much more that goes into that. There's Google, TikTok, there's more advanced stuff on Meta that I go through. And get done for your templates, AI prompts to create ads, personal content and tools. I used to cut CPA by 50% by social proof, and much more advanced over the shoulder tutorials. Then you can access the scaling arena here. I'm going to put a link there. It's going up in the next few days. Okay, so it's basically a whole. It's like nine part course plus loads of done for you materials. And loads of bonuses. It's way bigger than the original PDF Farmer course alone. It's very much around building a big back end, huge AOV, 1.5k profit offers, and then adding in paid ads. Yeah, basically all the tutorials around paid ads as well. So I hope that's useful. If you've got any questions on the ad side, just feel free to shoot us an email, and yeah, we will happily help you out. And yeah, all right, I will speak to you soon.